Okay, so right behind me is one of the reasons that you should seriously consider moving to West Boise. What's up? Benj here with Triple Chord Real Estate. Today I want to show you a part of town that I really like. It's West Boise, and this part in particular is called Boise West Garden City. And I really like this part of town mainly because of this park right here. It's Julius Kleiner Park, and it's named after that guy over there, who was a guy that came from Russia. He's got an interesting story. He made it over to China and then Japan. He jumped on a freighter boat, sailed over to Seattle, and then eventually made it to Caldwell, where he bought a dairy farm. Then he bought another one in Nampa, became a successful businessman. Well, this park here is a beautiful park with lots of grass. There's a basketball court over there, a nice big splash pad swing set. Big open area. You can do some fishing, catch some fish over there in the pond. Lots of other things, activities kind of going on here in Julius Kleiner Park. But this part of town, it's got a lot of other cool attractions to it. Before I show you those, let's go to a map and I'll show you where we are exactly in relation to the other parts of Boise, and then I'll show you some other footage. West Boise is actually subdivided into two kind of subdivisions. So you have Boise West, that's this red area here, and just West Boise Garden City. Today we're looking just at West Boise Garden City, and you should know there are 4 north-south roads that cut through this area. First is Eagle Road, right here. A big thoroughfare. Lots of, basically everything that you need is along Eagle Road. Walmart, Lowe's, etc. And then next to that is Cloverdale, and then 5 Mile and Maple Grove. These have less businesses, less stores. 5 Mile has a bit more than the other 2. Going east-west, McMillan Road up here in the north, and then Ustick and Fairview, and then finally Franklin. Those also, Ustick and Fairview, for example, they also have a lot of stores and businesses along them. And then between these roads is where the neighborhoods are. So let me just make 1 or 2 comments before I show you some more footage about this area here. If you want easy access to the rest of the city, one area that you might want to consider is down here close to the freeway. Here on Eagle and kind of near Franklin Road, this is one of 2 on-ramps that are close by that allow you to go on and off of this freeway right here, I-84, which then splits. It splits into the connector here that brings you downtown, and then towards the southeast, you have I-84 that continues down towards Mountain Home and Twin Falls in that area here. So Eagle Road provides access to the freeway. There's another on-ramp here on Meridian Road, and then further out here towards Nampa. There's also several shopping centers here. One of them is right here on Fairview and Eagle. There's like a large Walmart and a large Albertsons Market. Now there's also some shopping centers up scattered throughout Boise West, particularly up here in the Glenwood area. This is the Glenwood Shopping Center. Let's talk about the homes now in this neighborhood. Now, like any section of town, you're gonna find some homes that are older and some that are newer. But generally speaking, if you're looking more for the mid-century type homes, those tend to be clustered in the northern part of West Boise. So that's the Maple Grove, Chinden area. And then the homes near DeMeyer Park, so between Cloverdale and 5 Mile on McMillan Road, many of those homes were built in the 80s and 90s, and then peppered basically throughout the rest of West Boise, you'll have some newer homes from the 2000s to 2010s. Price-wise, West Boise sits pretty much in the middle of the price spectrum. The average price of all of the homes sold last month, so June 2010, was $316,000, and the median price was $313,000. This home behind me is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,800 square foot home, and it just sold for $425,000. This is the most expensive house that was sold in this neighborhood last month. and it's a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, 5,200 square foot home, and it sold for $699,900. So let's look at the schools now, and for that, let's go back to the map. So here are the elementary schools, right there. If you go to the website greatschools.org, there's a link down in the description box below, you'll see that overall, some of these scored pretty high. Cecil D. Andrus Elementary School, for example, ranked 9 out of 10 overall in the various categories. That's testing, student-to-teacher ratio, etc. Joplin Elementary School scored at 7 out of 10, and Frontier Elementary School also scored a 7 out of 10. And here are the middle schools, 2 of them, Lowell Scott Middle School and Lewis and Clark Middle School. Lowell Scott Middle School also ranked quite high overall. It scored an 8 out of 10. There's one high school in West Boise, Garden City, and that is Centennial High School. Overall, it scored a 6 out of 10 in the various categories. By the way, if you want my map, I'm happy to give it to you. Just click on the link in the description box below. Well, what is there to do in this part of town? Let me show you a couple things. Alright, so this is the Meyer Park, and I actually really like this park because there's a nice little river that you can float in. And if you have not seen my video on fun things to do, check it out right there, or right there. It features this park, but this is in the northern part of West Boise. Okay, so right behind me is one of the reasons that you should seriously consider moving to West Boise. Buffalo Wild Wings might be one of my favorite restaurants ever. It's on the corner of Eagle and Franklin. Alright, so I'm at the Village on Eagle and Fairview, and if you don't know about this place, you're missing out, because it's super fun place. There's a little water fountain behind me here, but in a normal world where there's no, Corona shutting down the world and making us all think the world's coming to an end, there's live music here on Fridays and Saturday nights. There's restaurants, there's a yard house right behind me here, cinema, and it's just a fun place. A lot of people hang out here on the weekends. Super fun place, tons of shopping and other things. So this is the St. Luke's Medical Center. It's one of the hospitals here in Boise. It's on the corner of Eagle and Franklin, just off of the highway. So just off of Chinden on the northern edge of West Boise, there's a large YMCA, which has a huge aquatic center with slides and diving boards. They also have a big rock climbing wall, basketball courts, racquetball courts, and what I like about the YMCAs here in Boise, I'm not sure if it's like that everywhere else, but if you're a member at one of the YMCAs, you can have access to all of the YMCAs throughout the entire Treasure Valley. So let me give you 3 things that might make West Boise an attractive place to live. Number 1, the house prices are right in the middle of the line for the Boise housing market. The average price of a home sold last month was around $315,000, and an 1,800 to 2,500 square foot home is in the $400,000 range or thereabout. Number 2, West Boise has some entertainment to offer. Julius Kleiner Park and the Village are definitely at the top of the list in that category. And number 3, there are a number of shopping centers conveniently spread throughout West Boise, which means you can find just about anything you want to buy in this part of town. If you want to know what the other neighborhoods of Boise look like, click on one of the thumbnails that are popping up on your screen right now.